Today we're going to talk about my first 12 months with Whoop as an average athlete. I don't mean to downplay myself, but if you are a normal person like me, how does the opinion of an elite athlete help me decide if Whoop is worth it? There are a lot of gimmicks out there to help with training and recovery, that's for sure. From wonder supplements to electronic gadgets like the VO2 Master. They all claim to have huge benefits, but we all know that if huge gains were that simple, then everyone would use whatever that gimmick was. The main question after 12 months of Whoop was, is it worth it? Whoop is certainly no gimmick. It's jam-packed with helpful tools and information, so the simple answer is yes, it was definitely worth the relatively small investment for me. But let's talk about why it's useful for an average athlete like me and why you might want to consider using one. Now, this isn't a sponsored video, but if you use the code I've put in the information for this video or the QR code that will appear somewhere around here to sign up, then I will get a little kickback for this. So I'm interested to see if that has any effect on my life whatsoever, but I appreciate you if you use that link. Sleep tracking. Recovery is one of the most important factors when you have a heavy training load, like training for a double Ironman, as I am currently, or even a regular Ironman. Recovery is about nutrition, hydration, and rest. The biggest factor here is rest. And what we are talking about is sleep. You can get everything else right in your training, but if you are getting poor quality sleep, you are basically shooting yourself in the foot. Whoop makes it easy to see how well you are sleeping or recovering. I've been working on my sleep performance for a long time. Many years ago, I had trouble getting to sleep, turning my brain off. I just didn't have a good routine and relied on just falling asleep. One of the great things about using Whoop to track my sleep is now I understand why sometimes I wake up after a long sleep and don't feel rested, or why I wake up after a shorter sleep and I feel great. It's what happened while you were asleep that counts. And although there are a minimum number of hours you should aim for as well. Restorative sleep is the key. In Whoop, this is deep sleep and REM sleep. Nights where I have more than 3.5 hours of restorative sleep are good nights. But the more the merrier in this area. Now, this video isn't about how to get a good night's sleep, but being able to track this has really given me an edge in training. Now I know why some days I struggle, and I do my best to manage it. So let's have a look at some of the stats here on my Whoop. So you see here on the main sleep screen that last night my sleep performance was 77%. I had 7 hours sleep. Whoop always thinks I need more sleep. I don't know what life it thinks I live, but I don't think I can remember the last time I had 9 hours sleep. But you'll see that I'm getting enough to get by, is the way it defines it. And it's mostly because at the moment I've been waking up really early to avoid the heat, and I'll probably start changing that a little bit now. You can look at last night's sleep in terms of the overall profile, and you'll see that I did well in my deep sleep and REM sleep, which is great. And then we can look at things like my sleep consistency, and we can look at that over the last month or over the last 6 months. And you'll see that I'm pretty consistent in my sleep. In December, I had a bad month there. I dropped off a little bit. I'm assuming that was just Christmas and I was away from here and not sleeping in my own bed, which obviously has an impact as well. And then we can look at my sleep performance, and you'll see that again, that's been pretty consistent. I would like to get it over 80 all the time, but you know, I have a lot going on at the moment. And then we have a look at my restorative sleep, which is the real key. I think this is the biggest thing that's changed for me. And I would never have known this without Whoop. So I think this is really interesting because you'll see that back in November, I was down like 33% of my sleep was restorative sleep. So deep sleep or REM sleep. And you'll see that I've really pushed that up now, and now we're getting to like 50% of my sleep is really high quality restorative sleep. And I do feel better for it. So, and I'm not 100% sure why that is. I'm not, it could be a whole range of things. There's a lot going on in my life. So I don't know the real reason behind it, but it could be a number of different things. And so I think when you can look at all of those different things, and especially look at them over a period of time, you get to see whether you're having any issues, whether everything's going smoothly, whether you need to address something. And I think one of the things for me is that I can look at this and go, yeah, December was an interesting month because, it's Christmas. I stayed at my parents' place, so I was sleeping in a strange bed, ate more than I normally would, all the normal Christmas stuff. But you can see that, now I can see that reflected in my sleep patterns and my sleep efficiency and all of those things. So it's really interesting in that respect for me. But I won't go deep into my statistics, but it's just interesting to look at those different things and be able to have a history of this information. Habit tracking. The second thing that Whoop has really helped me with is habit tracking. The journal function of Whoop is great to keep a track of the little things. Did I have my creatine? Was I grateful? How many calories did I have? And as many other things as you want to track. On top of this is the new function that tracks your steps. And it really looks like Whoop is working hard to add more of this kind of stuff all the time. So why is this helpful for me? Making gains in weight loss and performance all comes down to consistency. Tracking habits helps to make sure you are consistent over time. For me, this works in two ways. One, Whoop helps me to remind me of what I need to do, the little things each day that are part of my performance gains or weight loss, like steps, like my calories, like supplements, and so on. Two, Whoop then gives me the confidence that I'm doing all the right things, and I know that applying those over time will give me the results I want. We don't see the results every day, but being able to track the things that go towards those results is important physically and mentally for me. It's like stockpiling positive feedback. You can see all the work you are doing, so you know the results will come. As far as habit tracking goes, for me, I think it really is about the little things. And so I think this is one of the things that really has made a difference for me. But you won't see it anywhere in a statistics line or anything like that. But let's have a look at filling out my journal. This is what the journal looks like. Every day it asks me for these things. Have I expressed gratitude? Have I had anything to drink? Any caffeine? Have I journaled? Have I meditated? I take magnesium supplement every day for muscle recovery. And so have I taken an ice bath? I take creatine every day as well. Have I tracked my calories? Have I used the sauna? And you can alter this to track whatever you like. So you can just click on the little pencil and customize it to be whatever you like. There's a huge list of options here, and I think this is something that I need to spend more time in and try to see if there are other things that I should be tracking, because obviously there's a whole range of different things that you can work through here, and I won't even go through the whole list. It is a huge list. So you can build your own journal for tracking, and I think that's a very powerful tool because, as I've said previously, it's about, if you add up all the little 1% things that you do and make sure that you're doing every day, that's when you get the real gains. It's not a game of big, massive gains every day. It's a matter of putting one block on top of another and building and building and building. And tracking all of these things really gives you a way to make sure that you're ticking those boxes every single day, which I think is super important. But this is just the tip of the iceberg with Whoop. So there are two big things that have made Whoop really worth it for me, but it's really the tip of the iceberg in terms of what Whoop can do for you. I plan to use more of the functions moving forward, but I want to keep this simple and accessible for real people. Heart rate variability and some of the other abilities of Whoop are harder to put into real world, but I'm learning more each day, and tools like Whoop certainly make information that was once only available to pros easy to access and understand. So do yourself a favour and sign up for Whoop and start tracking the little things that make a big difference in your life. Thanks very much for watching this video. I hope that it's been useful for you, because I think sometimes, I'm guilty of watching videos made by professional athletes thinking, oh, I'm not really sure how that will apply to my life, or if that really means anything to me. So hopefully making these kind of videos is helpful for more average people like me to get an understanding of how you might use it in the real world. So I do plan to do more of these kind of videos, and hopefully you enjoy them. So next week we'll be back to more training videos where you'll see me sweating and the usual things that I'm doing. But I hope you have a great week, and don't forget to take the next ride.